Hi everyone, my name is Stivian Desnandhy Priambodo, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through my poster about postcolonialism in literary theory. We'll go step by step from the definition, key questions, why this theory matters today, examples from literature, and a brief timeline of postcolonial development. Let's get started. First, definition. Postcolonialism is a field of study that examines how colonialism has shaped culture, identity, language, and social structure, starting from the colonial era all the way up to the present day. According to Sawant, postcolonialism also looks at how formerly colonized people respond to these long-lasting effects of colonial rules. Some of its key areas of focus are representation / who gets to tell the story, voice, whose voices are silenced or highlighted, power, how power operates during and after colonialism, identity, how individuals and groups struggle with mixed or conflicted identities. Postcolonial analysis has several important questions when we read or interpret a text. These include 1. How are colonizers and the colonized represented? Are they portrayed fairly or stereotypically? 2. Whose voices are heard and whose are silenced? 3. Does the text challenge or support colonial ideology? 4. How is identity conflict or resistance depicted? These questions help us understand how literature participates in or pushes back against colonial power structures. Number 3. Why it matters today? Now, why is postcolonialism still relevant in our modern world? According to GNU, even though colonialism as a historical system has ended, its power structure continues in different forms, such as racism, globalization, media representation, and cultural dominance. Today, we can still see how minorities are categorized, how Western values are often treated as superior, how global interactions repeat old inequalities, and how mainstream media often reinforce dominant Western narrative while pushing aside non-Western perspective. This is why postcolonialism remains important. It helps us recognize and challenge these ongoing forms of inequality. Number 4. Literary examples. To have better understanding of postcolonialism, let's look at these two literary works that I've used as an example. First, Bumi Manusia. This novel shows how Dutch colonial rule shapes identity, social hierarchy, and resistance. It highlights issues like discriminations, limited opportunities for native people, and how individuals struggle for dignity under an oppressive system. Second, Shooting an Elephant by George Orwell. This essay reveals the inner conflict of a colonial officer who is pressured by expectations and authority. It shows how colonial power creates fear, moral tension, and resentment not only for the colonized but also for the colonizers themselves. Both works illustrate different aspects of colonial impact on identity and power, but both exactly tell the same issues related to postcolonialism or the colonialism system itself. Number 5. Mini timeline of postcolonial development. Now, let's take a deeper look at the development of postcolonial theory, which grows out the historical process of colonization, resistance, independence, and identity reconstruction. First, colonialism. During this period, foreign powers took control of territories across Asia, Africa, the Americas, and other regions. They reshaped local culture, imposed new languages, and reorganized social hierarchies to benefit the colonizers. Indigenous knowledge systems were often dismissed, and local populations were forced into roles that served the colonial agenda. This era created deep inequalities that would last long after official colonial rule. ended. Second, resistance. Even under strict control, colonized communities found ways to resist, sometimes through open rebellions, but often through cultural, intellectual, and artistic movements. Writers, activists, and thinkers began expressing dissatisfaction with colonial rules, challenging the narrative that portrayed colonizers as superior and the colonized as inferior. Third, independence movements. By the mid 20th century, many nations fought and achieved independence. However, gaining political freedom didn't automatically erase colonial influence. New nations inherited systems, legal, economic, educational, and cultural, that had been built by colonial powers. Even leaders who took over after independence sometimes continued these structures because they had been deeply embedded. Fourth, postcolonial identity formation. This is where postcolonial theory truly comes in. After independence, societies began to reflect on what had been lost, changed, or overwritten during colonial rules. Fifth, continuing global impact. Even today, postcolonial thinking remains relevant because global power dynamics still mirror colonial patterns. Dominant nations influence culture, media, and economic worldwide, often overshadowing local voices. Postcolonial theory helps us analyze this modern form of cultural dominance and work towards more equal and diverse representation. And that's a full breakdown of postcolonialism in literary theory. If you want to explore the sources used in this poster, feel free to scan the QR code shown here. And if you want to find the poster will be arranged and dropped in the QR code itself. It will lead you to Google Drive files and you will find everything you need there. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you understand postcolonialism clearly.